Welcome to From Pitch to Pontoon.
Hi, I'm Andrew.
I'm Lisa.
And I'm Callum, and welcome to today's episode of From Pitch to Pontoon.
Oh,
What's been happening out there in the world?
very busy.
You've been on your travels, Andrew?
I haven't been nowhere. Oh, what? No, sorry, I
Since
have.
we've last spoke, you have.
I have.
Yeah.
I've been, in the last 3 weeks, I've been to London twice. I haven't been to London in about 20 years, and I've been twice in 2 weeks. That was good. And then I went to the Harper Conference,
There you go.
which was also very good.
Was it good?
Yeah, that was in London. It was really good conference, actually. It was really good and positive, which was nice to see, because I know
See
there
lots
was...
of people. You always see lots of people at the Harper
You do.
Conference.
Yeah, you do. But no, it was good vibes. Everyone was positive. Good, really good attendance. Given its location and where it was. It was good, really good.
Lisa, have you been on your travels?
No.
You going
Have
anywhere? I don't know.
No, not been on my travels recently.
Your next big day out, the customer day?
Yes, it is.
How
Yeah.
exciting. What are we doing?
We don't know yet.
We don't know.
It's all within your power. This is why we get scared, because it's like, people in the business keep saying, "Oh, Lisa, that's when you're doing this," and I'm like, "What now? Is that?"
He'll
that
tell
happening?
us the day before, probably, or an hour before the event, and say, "Have you read that?" That's.
I
Probably
am looking
what will
forward
happen.
to it. I do love the customer day. It's a great day.
It's going to be really exciting, and we've flipped the...
We're going to be on the chaise longues.
I don't know if we're getting one of that. we've definitely flipped how the day is going to run, making it a little bit more different than it's been before. We have got a very, very... This will be an exclusive actually as well, because I don't think anyone knows standard. I think we've got... I know that we have got a very exciting guest speaker coming to the event, which I'm very much looking forward to. Me and Nicola had a call with them, and we came off that call buzzing and exciting. And we thought, well, if you can do that on a call, what's going to happen in the room? So that's lots to look forward to on the day. We've got our customer awards as well. So we'll be starting to get the nominees, get everyone nominating, see who's going to come out on top this year, who's going to win our fantastic customer awards.
Exciting times.
It is very exciting times. So we spend a lot of time talking about driving revenue. What we don't talk enough about is where it's quietly leaking. So we're not looking at making big strategic decisions. We're just talking about looking at the small things and how we can move those forward, get those extra little bits of revenue for you.
Okay.
So I think we'll start, Andrew, in your ballpark here as a salesperson at the inquiry response times and how that can actually leak revenue if you're not following up properly.
Yeah, I think it's a very good point, and something that gets overlooked quite a lot, really. And I think when it comes to inquiries, for me, there's the sort of the obvious path where people go, "Oh, call them straight away, automated email, they need a response, now." What is more important than ever is everything is online. So everybody has done their research first. And if someone's making an inquiry to you as a park or marina, they've probably done it to several others as well. So for me, the silent killer, if you like, is not responding properly. An automated response that says, "Thank you for your inquiry," with no other details. You've lost my interest there. And when you're responding, if it's automated, because it could come in the middle of the night, something like that, then make sure it's engaging. Give them something to action whilst you've not gone back to them. So it could be an online brochure. It could be a journey flow on the website. It could be more information. So they're reading it and they're engaging and they've got, "Oh, okay, I didn't know that." Site fees, mooring fees, whatever it may be, give them some more information at the immediate point that they've made the inquiry, and then follow it up. Because if you take a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days to follow up the inquiry, it's gone. That revenue is lost because someone else has attracted their attention and they've gone somewhere else. Because the location of the park or marina is obviously crucial. And if they're inquiring about several of them, then they're first going to buy by that first impression, the window aspect view that you get. They know what they want to buy, they know what they're looking for, they've already done their research. It's now about you as an individual and as an organization about how you respond to that inquiry. So to me, it is a massive silent killer of not being on top of inquiries when they come through the door, properly, automated or manual.
And I think that's really, especially the confirmation that that you've received their inquiry is super, super important.
Absolutely.
We see even like you've booked a holiday and your confirmation, you're refreshing, waiting for it, and you're going,
Yeah.
oh, what is it? It's like taking even 10, 15 minutes is too long when you're waiting, because you want that instant, yes, they've got it, fantastic, someone will get in contact with me shortly. It's just an acknowledgement to keep, as you said, keep them interested whilst they're pondering through.
Yeah, absolutely right. And as I said before, it's the content as well. Make sure it isn't just a thank you. Make sure you're giving them more information so they get excited. And when it does hit their inbox, but also keep the nurture journey followed up. Don't just stop at that first email. Give them some little snippets along the way. Even when the salesperson's contacted them, have another email drop the following day with some more information about the park, about the holiday homes, about the burst, whatever it may be. Keep them engaged and keep them excited, but don't fill them with a load of bumps that they're not going to read. Make sure it's engaging.
I think you have to be aware also that you need to make it as kind of tailored to that person as possible. People are very wise to the fact that it's an automated email that fires out after 3 seconds or whatever it is. You know yourself, you know what's coming out isn't an actual person. So you have to, and it is about that nurture, and it's not just about, oh, I've tick box, done, dusted, move on to the next. It's then what do you do with that? You've shown them the start, you've shown them what you need to show them. What do we do next? I need to follow this through. I need to make sure that person feels important right away, because that's how they feel right the way through the journey with you, no matter at what point they're entering your establishment.
From a tech perspective, from a CRM, Andrew, how personalized can we make that for someone that's inquired about a specific, let's take a caravan, so they've inquired about this specific unit. Can we, or how far down personalized can we get on that follow-up message for that specific product?
And I think it's, again, a great question, because that is where technology can play a big part for it not to feel, like you just said, Lisa, that it's automated, because you can effectively then have an automated response that reads the inquiry that's come through based on whether it's that holiday home you've applied for, their name, their address, their detail. You can literally tailor that journey to say, you've inquired about this, here's some more information about it. The area you live in, it only takes 3 hours to come from it. As long as the data's in the system, you can tailor that message to whatever you need to. And that is important, rather than, dear sir, here's a load of information, thank you, bye, we'll be in touch. Just tailor it, make it personal. And that's where the technology lends a hand into making the customer feel like they're individual rather than it's math. But it's also using the data and the technology to, like you just said then, Callum, about, they expect an automated response within 2 or 3 minutes. Use the technology to delay it an hour. To just give it a slight delay so it's not instant, for example, or have an email that goes out that says, oh, thank you for inquiry, we'll be in touch within the next couple of hours. Then send the response with all of the information that's tailored more to them.
Yeah, because that's the one you expect is automated, isn't it? Thank you for your response. Everybody knows that one. The next one is that.
Yes.
Almost, it's like that's the hook. That's the one that you need to make the difference.
So we move on from sales now and start looking into reservations, bookings, whether that's rentals, whether that's slip reservations, caravan bookings, the whole lot. There is upsell opportunities that never get offered. They just sort of get left on the side. They're available, but they're not easy, I guess, to add on in some instances, or they're just forgotten by the advisors. So Lisa, I'm going to look at you because you used to work in bookings as well. How can we use these small things that are already there? How can we leverage that to generate more revenue?
Well, I think the first and foremost for me, I'm all about the customer service, is that first impression of when you're making that booking. Whether you are on the phone or whether you're doing it through the website or whether you're doing it through an app, it has to be available. You have to be engaging. You have to make it a pleasant experience. That's the first and foremost, because you've got them then that you feel important. Whether that's a smiley voice, and that sounds silly, but you know what I'm talking about when you say a smiley voice on the end of the
Yeah.
phone, or that same process through the website. It has to be easy. But then you go to that upsell and cross sell. And I think these are opportunities that are missed. And I don't know whether sometimes booking agents feel not empowered enough to just take that kind of offer it. What can they say? No. That's all they can say. No, thank you. That's fine, no problem, move on. But if you've got activities going on, do you want to book a table? Even things that will cost nothing to you, maybe an early check-in if you know that that unit isn't occupied. That's a really easy win, or a late checkout if there's no booking in there. After they leave, you've got for Marinas also. Oh, are you interested in I don't know, a clean or a valet while you're here or something like that? Or, we've got activities going on, or come and have a drink on us. You've got all of those opportunities that you can, while they're in that, while you've got them on the phone or while you've got them on your website, you can show all these things, cross-sell and upsell. It's a key moment, I think. And it's
So,
missed.
do you know what the biggest one for me that's always missed is breakfast? And we used to have we had the cost of the breakfast cross charged back to the bookings team. Fine. But we then incentivized them because I'm paying what, 70 pence for a breakfast, but we can upsell that. The bar are then getting more F&B secondary spend off the back of it, because actually, they're in there already, but they've only got, say, they got the free breakfast, but actually, great, that's fine. So I'm going to have coffees, or we're going to have this, or we're going to get that, we're going to have it to go. But they might not have necessarily come in had they not been offered it. So we used to incentivize the team, listen, because their commission was based on the revenue of the total booking, you would naturally see them trying to push the value up a little bit. So if it was just under the threshold, but, would you like to add breakfast on for that as well? Oh, I can see you've got a child, you want a high chair. And I think with tech, specifically in that instance, where you're doing your initial search and based on the makeup of your party, it would surface different booking extras to add on to that. So if there was kids on the booking, it might offer your kids' activities, or, as I said, a high chair or a cot. But if there was just an adult booking, in this instance, it might surface bottles of champagne, it might breakfast pack stuff for them to enjoy their accommodation rather than trying to pull them down. And just try and personalize that as they're actually making that online booking as well. And your booking staff should be able to follow the same rhythm of that.
It's just slowing it down a little bit and taking it back and just taking the time again to understand what would you want to maybe be offered. Or, like you say, or children, well, we've got this going on over there, and you make it engaging, you make it sound like something they want to be part of. And 9 times out of 10, you're in that holiday mood anyway. You are kind of a little bit more relaxed, and they'll be like, oh yeah, that's great, thanks.
I think particularly, with a first-time customer, if they're on the phone with you, they don't know what you've got on offer. They've done the research, so they'll know a bit. But if they've picked up the phone to speak to you still, they are relying on you to guide their whole experience with you. So like you're saying, take the 2 minutes just to slow it down, find out. I mean, it's basic discovery, isn't it? Like, what are you coming for? What are you down for? Why are you in the area? Have you been in the area before? What do you like doing? Oh, you've got kids, blah, blah, blah. All right, okay. Oh, it's their birthday, right? See, taking that note of it's their birthday and just doing something with that, whether that's you get the mascot toys and you put it in, happy birthday.
That's the big thing, tiny.
Yeah.
That's what the whole thing is all about. It's the tiny little extras, the whole thread through. And I think you touched on it before, Lisa, with regards to when they're there, and we're talking about, you know, the revenue that's missed, the leaky revenue, those elements. So there's a thread that I've seen so many times where they've got the booking, that's it, they've booked, they've got the revenue. No, that's the first
That's the
part.
start.
Absolutely. They will come again and again and again if you make their stay memorable and you do those tiny little extras and you do those little things. And I I went to, was it last week or the week before? I went to one of our customers down in Cornwall, and I was blown away. It was a small park, but I was blown away about the tiny little extras, about the detail that they go to. We went in one of their top end lodges to have a look, and the towels was shaped as a swan, and they get like a little welcome pack, but so does the dog get a little welcome
Yeah.
pack. And the little extras when you're going around the park are incredible. Would I go back there again? 1,000,000%. I would
Yeah.
book there again. And their repeat booking rate, I'm sure, I can't remember the percentage now. Let's say it's 40 or 50%. I can't remember, but it was very high. That's the lost revenue. Because if you don't make an impact on that 1, 2, 3, 7 night stay when they're there, they're not coming back again. So you've lost
No.
the revenue a second time because they've booked somewhere else. They're the little leaky revenue bits that people forget. That first impression, that first conversation on the phone, smiling whilst you're talking, and all of that. Huge, huge,
Yeah.
huge, huge.
And you touched on that there with the dog and the little extras. We stayed a couple of Easters ago actually at one of our
Mhm.
customers' parks for Easter weekend, and it was a 3-day spur of the moment. Let's just go. We're not going to do anything. We're going to take everything with us. We're not going to eat out. We're not going to. But we
Yeah,
arrived. The dog had its own little pack. We had our own
love it.
little welcome pack. The kids had 2 little mascot teddies waiting for them in their bedroom, and
Yeah,
they didn't they didn't have to do that. But we ate out every night we were there,
yeah,
actually, and we went in
absolutely.
for drinks and we used our local shop. We didn't have to. We had no plans to do that, but it
Yeah,
does something to you. It makes you go, "Oh, that's so nice." Like,
yeah,
let's go and see the rest of the staff because obviously there's a good thing
exactly.
here. And I don't think we can emphasize enough. It's those tiny little things that matter. And even though you've worked in the industry and you still feel genuinely touched by those little extra steps that somebody makes
Mhm.
for you.
Yeah.
You really do.
And see those extra steps. I want to just briefly talk about affordability
Hmm.
as a sales manager. So obviously, you get people on the phone and you give them the price of their break, and they go, "I can't. That's out of my price range. I'm not interested. I can't do it." What is stopping you from saying what can you afford, or what were you looking to spend? Because say the holiday's 200 quid, the budget's 180. Are you going to let the 180 walk away rather than just take £20
Yeah.
off of that?
And I think that's what has to come down from the top though as well. And
It
I
does.
think
Yeah,
you really are doing your business a disservice if you don't empower that team to make those decisions, and if you don't think that investing in that team to do exactly all the things that we've spoken about, just to give them that kind of,
Even to get them to ask the
power.
question. This person's on
Yep,
the phone. They've actually stayed with us because we've got data. They've stayed with us 3 or 4 times. It's
yep.
slightly out of budget for them this time. Can we meet them halfway, or
What's it
can we do
costing
something
you
for
as a business to do that?
nothing? Because you're either
no,
going to miss
So
it
exactly.
completely and it's
Yeah.
gone, or you're going to hang
Mhm.
out. I mean, I will caveat with this that it's probably not something you could do in the middle of peak season where you
No,
know you're
because
no.
you'll fill it
but
anyway.
in those
But
quieter periods, why not?
absolutely. But what you can do though is, again, it's the tiny little extra. So it's that, okay, it may be 180 for the holiday, but what we'll do is we'll give you 20% off in the complex or on a meal
Or a
or
free leisure
a
pass.
free leisure pass. Absolutely. And give the little extra that doesn't cost money, that's not going to impact that nightly rate. It's having the flexibility to do that, to look after the guest the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time, because also they'll tell their friends about it. That's
Yeah.
also
They'll all
the
phone up
missing
and say,
revenue.
I need £10 off my holiday too.
Yeah, I got a discount. I want that.
Lisa told me I could have that. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, no.
Yeah.
That's why all your calls should be recorded.
Yes.
So talking, I guess, then into data, we've spoke a little bit about repeat patterns and guest behavior. What sort of data should we be looking at and analyzing to be able to do these extra little things for our customers, new and old?
And it's so easy to just go, well, I got the name, I got the address, I got the telephone number, I got the email. That's all I need. No, it absolutely is not. You said it before, Callum. Get their birthday. You know, it's an easy one to collect. Use a system then to automate a birthday email with 10% discount on. Collect the data of their previous bookings, how much they've spent, how many bookings they've had with you. You know, all of that, because scrolling back to what we said before, drives automation. Understanding when they stay, what their spend is throughout their stay, what they've done, what activities they've booked on, what things they like. You can very quickly draw a profile of a customer automatically via the system, via the data that you import, by having all of those things at your fingertips. And it's incredible the picture that you can build, the automation you can drive from that data, but also when you're speaking to a customer and you can go, oh, I've seen you stayed last year, last August, and you booked this extra. Have you still got Fred the dog, or have you, that knowledge and that commonality and that understanding of the customer is enormous, absolutely enormous.
Mm-hmm. People, I don't think, like, when you've worked in a booking office, well, obviously it was a while ago, but when you did get those repeat people and you'd be like, oh, you're up again, like, and you would, and they'd be like, I can't believe you remember me, and you could
I
just
know.
give them that
They
one
love it.
tiny thing, and they were like,
Yeah.
oh, it was wee Joe's birthday, and you'd be like, oh, what age are they now? And you'd be like, oh, it's just priceless. That is priceless information. And I think reporting as well, actually. We talk about the customer, but what we've just spoken about with using it to drive the decisions that you're making, using it to feed back to your team, like, right, okay, guys, the reason we are doing X, Y, and Z is because in April in May we have a drop in whatever. You've got
it's
that
all the
information.
analytics of it,
Analyze
isn't it?
it exactly.
Yeah.
And I think if we flip it to the other side, we're talking about data and obviously the customer journey, but one of the biggest, I guess, easiest ways of recapturing someone that's particularly on your website is an abandoned basket. Now, people deliberately hold out for these now because you get
an offer.
Because you get a little discount.
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
I'll just add that to a basket and see what I get. But people do, but automating that process as well. So you're going, all right, you've not booked, is everything okay? I mean, I used to just, so we had it automated for a point, and then after that point, there was an internal email come into the team to be like, hey, these guys still haven't booked. And then they would call them to make sure that everything was all right. And 9 times out of 10,
drop off as well, Callum. Like, at what point in that maybe website are they dropping off? Have you got a problem there? Is there something that's
we
not?
love an exit page. Exit page analysis. Where have they been? Are you following that journey through the website? Exactly, you said. Is there something
it's understanding
wrong in that
the
journey?
customer? It's understanding the customer, their behavioral habits, their journeys. It's understanding all of that. You have to know that information. You have to get that extra revenue. You have to understand it. It's crucial.
And actually, coming up in an upcoming episode in a couple of weeks, we're actually talking with an SEO expert who is talking about that exact thing. So analysing the websites and actually looking at it. So look out for that episode with Jason Pittock. If you're in the past, if you're in the future, then you can find it now. It'll be available for you. We're looking at disconnected teams versus disconnected revenue. How are we bringing everything together so that we're not disconnected through and through?
I think one of the big things for me to start on with this, and I've seen it so many times, is a disconnect between departments. So let's just say, in as example, salesperson sold a boat or a holiday home or whatever it may be, and then it needs to be handed over to the operationals team. Now, this isn't anything about the operations team. This is about communication. This is about the right information. This is about saying who the customer is, what they do, what their what their experience is, so that when they get handed over to that team, they understand and they can be treated in the
Yeah.
same way they were treated with at the start of the cycle. That is crucial for me, and it doesn't happen enough. Or you've sold them this, make sure it's delivered. Because if you've got them up to that point of 100%, and then you hand them over, and because you didn't hand over that they needed an additional decking, or they wanted a certain color, or they wanted a certain size, or in a certain location, and you've not delivered all of those aspects, okay, you've got them as a customer, you've got the initial revenue. All they're going to do is tell everybody how disappointed they were with it, and you've lost your referrals, you've lost the repeat business, you've lost the additional spend on the park or marina, you've lost everything. And that, to me, that department to department handover and being disconnected is one of those biggest aspects that can hurt
Yeah.
the revenue without thinking it's being hurt.
Yeah. And you're doing yourself a major disservice as well, I
You
think,
are.
because as the salesperson, let's say in this scenario, it's your responsibility to ensure that the next team pick it up as like a relay race. And it's like, I've got the baton now to continue that journey and make sure that we're given the best um, customer service or the best journey that we can provide for that person.
A big example is like finance chasing debt. That's a real big one, where they don't understand the customer. They're doing their
Yeah.
job. That's absolutely fine, and it's what they need to do. But if they don't have visibility of, they may have spoken to somebody in reception to say, can you
Yeah.
buy us a couple of days or a couple of weeks? Yeah, no problem at all, but haven't notified. Or there's been a bereavement. I've seen that before. Something's happened. Communication hasn't gone to the right people. They've sent out a chasing letter, could be a strong one. Boom. Again, you've lost the customer and you've not
Yep.
delivered that experience. So, but it comes back to data, because if everybody's singing off the same page, of the same hymn sheet, then it's all there, and you just look at that before you contact them and go, oh, Fred spoke to them and this is what's happened, or James
And
has done this.
how that information is being communicated as well. So if you think
Mm-hmm.
even a couple of years ago, perhaps, you've got a load of these business finance traditionally will try and hold on to, oh no, these all need to go out in the post, and you'll see
Yeah.
the big bundles of everything, which works for some people. But you also, if you're going to do that, it needs to be done almost like an omni-channel situation. So yes, we'll send you a letter because we know that that customer likes that specifically. Some people do. This is also going to go out through an email on, actually, we've notified you via our app for this business that your invoices are now ready. So your site fees, your berthing fees, however that might work, are ready for payment. And then you can make that payment slightly more difficult with paper, which is always the problem. But if you've got an email, take you directly to it to make the payment, your reminder
That's what I was just
directly there
about
to make the
to say.
payment, your app straight through to make the payment. So you're improving your cash. And these might not be big bills that are due either. These might just be like, oh, it's a £15 for this, or they put something on they're at the bar and actually charged it to account. So we're just making sure that that's paid up and making that flow through.
Yeah.
It's making
Huge.
it easy. That's exactly that point of making it easy, because yes, I can send it out 3 different ways, but if I still have to phone the office and you're only open 9 till 5, then what if you work? What if you don't have? I've actually had it. I've swapped bank accounts recently to a different bank, and there was one that, like, it didn't go through properly. But because it didn't go through, and it was £11, right? It was nothing. But they shut off the account, they blocked it, and I had to actually phone the person to unblock that. But if they'd had allowed me to do that online, they would have had their payment a week
Absolutely.
faster,
Yeah.
because you're removing that contention, you're removing the blockage.
Yeah.
You're chasing them for money, but then you're going to make it difficult for them to actually give you what you want. It's just it's crazy to me, and I find it. And I don't know, Andrew, when you're in the sales cycle, if I'm maybe demoing a version, maybe the app for people, and I'm showing them that this is instant, and look, that invoice is there right away, I can pay that right away. We are in a world now where people expect things done instantly.
Of course they do.
They want to do it instantly, and if they can't, it's a huge inconvenience.
Yeah.
If you don't have your phone in life at the moment, like, you can't do a lot. You can't, like, genuinely, You cannot
You
do a
can't.
lot. So
But you need to be. I can't remember what it was now, but just before Christmas, I bought something, and you get these things where you go, oh, subscribe to this, just pay delivery, and see what it's like. I think it was
yes,
like a gin one. I can't remember. It's like the craft gins and stuff like that. So I did it. I thought, oh yeah, let's have a look, see what the box is like. It's great.
you still
And
paying
tried it
for it now?
out. And I was. And do you know what the frustrating thing was? Is I was able to set it all up online, but I couldn't cancel online.
Yeah,
I didn't like
exactly.
that. Or when I emailed to cancel it, they said you need to call our team. I haven't got time to call the team. And then another one went out because I didn't have time to call them. But I'll never, ever, ever go back to that company now because
But
of
you
that
have got
experience.
plenty of gin.
And I've got loads of gin.
Yeah, you're okay.
Yeah.
I think what we're saying today is it doesn't always need to be a massive shift or a change to bring in extra revenue. It's looking at tightening up the processes you have at the minute, and then later down the line you can look at making the big changes to actually go, yes, we're going to bring that in.
It is literally about less.
Yeah.
That is the crucial thing. That is the thread for today.
Do less, keep it small,
Tiny.
stop your leaks.
Less is more. Tiny little extras.
Perfect.
I enjoyed that, guys.
It was. I enjoyed that. It was a good little chat.
Good
What are
chat.
we on next time, Callum?
What are we on next time?
Yeah.
What
What are we talking about?
We
What's the
won't know until an hour before, of course. And then,
Obviously.
you know,
I think, do we ever get anybody that asks for something to be spoken about in particular? Do we ever offer that? I feel like we should.
You did offer that on the last
Did nobody
episode.
respond?
No, nobody's came forth.
Sad.
Quite.
Okay. So we need to sort that out, don't we?
Okay, so if you are listening, you've upset Lisa because you've not sent in any suggestions for us to talk about. So if you do want to drop us a line, please feel free to find us on any of our social platforms. We are on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Just search them for Pitch to Pontoon.
I would love to have an episode where people just ask questions.
That'd be good. Yeah, let's do that. A Q&A session.
Q&A. That would be great.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you can sort that out.
Well, I can't make up the questions. That would be rubbish.
Yeah.
Sandra said, why is this the best podcast I've ever listened to?
Yeah.
Still fantastic.
We don't know Sandra, but we will find out in another episode of From Pitch to Pontoon. We'll see you later on.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.